Welcome back to the Meet the Athlete podcast. On this week's episode, I'm joined by Jake Smith, the one and only. He's recently signed for the NN running team and Nike, leading to what has been a pretty big year for himself, competing over the track, road and cross-country disciplines. However, unfortunately sustaining a recent ankle injury. So it's going to be interesting to see his thoughts and feelings on how his running has been going, and also how he sees his running going in the near future following his injury. So sit back, relax. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy this new episode of the Meet the Athlete podcast. So, Jake, thank you for coming onto the podcast. It's great to have you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really good to be here. Nice to have a chat with you, and hopefully we have a quite good laugh.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, last time I saw you was at the night of the 10Ks
Yeah,
at Highgate. That was a great event. But yeah, it's been too long. So we've got some interesting questions to ask you today, and hopefully people at home will enjoy this conversation. But first of all, just how are you?
no, I'm doing really well. I think a lot of people know I've got an injury. So I'm just in the gym, like I said previously, like about 2.5, 3 hours a day, just work on the weaknesses. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's quite nice because the weather's getting a bit crappier now, so it's like at least I'm in a heated, like a warm environment. I'm missing the fresh air quite a bit though. That's the thing. So I'm trying to like go walk to the gym and everything. But apart from that, everything, the socializing, like going out, I'm going out quite a lot now. So it's like trying to get in everything before the real training starts and trying to just enjoy myself.
Yeah, for sure. So, what actually have you done to ankle? Do you know the specific injury?
Yes, I think a lot of people know that, like a lot of people saw me like in a boot and stuff. And so it was a bit worse than it was. So I just had to like um just be cautious. I was in a bit, I'm now out of the boot, which is good. Um, so yeah, it's just trying to work on how we get from there and how we get the strength back. So I was in it for about 4 weeks now. So it's just like just walking around, and it's quite funny because when I was doing like came out of the booth and I'll do some like mobility drills, there's no mobility in my left foot, and my calf size from my left to right, we measured it, it's got almost 2 or 3 inches small already. So I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a bit of work to do.
Oh, okay. So what sort of so you said you go to the gym, obviously you're doing 2 to 3 hours in the gym like nearly every day. Is that a personal gym at your house, or do you go to a gym somewhere or
So I'm quite lucky. So I'm like a influencer of JD Gym. So I
okay.
use theirs, and we have downstairs in our garage with a treadmill and a cross trainer. So it's like either use the cross trainer downstairs occasionally or just go to the gym. And there are so many. It's a really really good facility and setup. So I just use all the stuff there.
Oh, for sure. That's yeah, well, pretty cool. So hopefully you'll be able to work on some of those weaknesses, come back even stronger, and hopefully the fitness will be the easy bit.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
So obviously this year has been a pretty big year for you. You obviously started off the year with a bit of a bang, joining the NN running team. How have you found that kind of progress along the year? How's it been?
It's been nuts. Like you see, like every most weeks. Well, in the track there weren't as many because of the world champs, but now you're seeing like every weekend there's another NN athlete racing, going for world record. Saw what Kipchoge achieved in Berlin, and it's like quite funny. Like they are my teammates essentially, so it's like just to think of that. And when I first joined, because I went straight to Uganda and like trained out with them, you don't really think of it as much until you like just take a step back, and then when you're back in the UK and like, what the hell have I just done? Where the hell have I just been? So it's been a crazy, crazy year, and I'm just thankful for all the support I've got from the team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that must be pretty insane. But just being able to say you're on the same team as Kipchoge is just absolutely bonkers. I can say I'm on as part of the same club as Matt Stoner, which is pretty cool, but
No, I know.
doesn't quite compare to Kipchoge. So a few weeks. Oh, it seems like it was ages ago now, but at the start of September, you obviously raced the big half, came third, 62:10, was it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that result?
It was like I've said to my coach before, it was like the easiest 62 minutes I've ever run in my life. I was training so hard for that race, and because of I had Valencia on my mind, I came off a track season, and I had to sort of, because when I was doing track season, I was really happy with my speed. I've never run so even, and my coach says to me, okay, if I wasn't luckiest with some races, like in France, I raced in 35, 36 degrees heat in a 10K where there was only three finishers, and then another race was only four starters. So towards the end, got a bit unlucky, and then transitioning to the road, I had to almost rush it because the big half.
Yeah.
So I didn't taper anything or into it, and I just felt so comfortable. You might have seen on the footage, like it was so, like the paces kept changing. So I absolutely loved it so much, the change of pace. And I knew Jack and Mo Farah were in crazy, crazy shape. Like Jack tapered for it, and he was buzzing for it. So I was like, if I can hang on to these guys, and I did, and I pushed the race hard, it should put me in a good stead for Valencia. Unfortunately, 2 weeks later, I was running and my foot went, and I was like, oh, it's not good. It's not good. So it was a bit of a shame, but I've like taken a step back, and I've just looked back through what I've achieved this year, and it's just a case of just moving on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember watching the big half. I knew that Jack Rowe was in good shape because I'd seen him out to Font Mo. Obviously, everyone knows what to expect from Mo when he's on his day. But when I was watching it, I could just see that, I don't know, I've watched enough of you guys to know when you look comfortable, and you looked, honestly, it's like you were gliding along the floor.
Yeah, like I said, I've never felt that chill. It was really, really good. I just wanted to keep going.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think, was it about 5K you made it like a surge, about 5K to go?
Well, yeah, so it was like similar to last year. I made like a surge, and then I was like pushing the pace, and I knew Butchart was falling off the pace a bit. And I was like, okay, I'm still feeling quite good, but I don't want to do all the work yet because they could sit on me. And it, like, at the end of the day, if it compared to those two, they've all broken 4 minutes per mile like that. Like their speed, their 400, their probably K pace is my 400 PV pace, or their whatever, my 200-meter PV pace. So I was like, okay, I can't just let them sit on me the whole way. And then Farah, it was so funny, but Gary Lowe, his coach, actually blew a whistle at 17, 18K. Not many people know, for Farah to go. And I was thinking, like, Farah, mate, you're racing me and Jack Rowe. We're not gonna make take the piss or anything. You don't need your coach blowing a whistle for you to go. So it was quite funny, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, that seems a bit odd personally, but I mean, whatever you got to do to win, I guess. But yeah, so I mentioned in a comment that I said to you about your coaching, about how that's changed. Obviously, you transitioned from James Thee. Who's your coach now?
So I'm now working with Gavin and Joe Pavey.
Oh, okay,
So
very cool.
on at the start of the year, they took I was in contact with him, and he like started coaching again when I got in contact with him, and he now has 3 proper athletes he takes on. So it's me, this girl called Ines Fitzgerald. So
Yeah,
she's
the
smart,
Cardiff Cross.
and
Yeah,
then they've now taken on this other woman who came second at the lead Tabby Dash, I think, to Jess Judds. So the African lady, to Gesse or something.
yeah.
So I think she came to the UK, and so there's like 3 of us. So right now I'm saying, like, I've done some good results, but next year I need to do something crazy in order to just be a bit above them, especially in S.
Yeah, for sure. That was actually the first time that I'd heard about Joe Pavey in coaching, was when I was watching the Cardiff Cross Challenge, and
Oh, really?
Fitzgerald had like just won the race like fairly comfortably. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So what made you, like, obviously maybe you didn't want to change coaches, but what made you change coaches?
I think I just needed a bit of a change. Like, I came back from Uganda. A lot of people saw like I actually pushed my body to the limit, and I just needed. I think I just wanted a bit of a change, bit of scenery. Like, people have done it, and don't get me wrong, James has been incredible. He was incredible for me, but I think I just wanted to move on, see what else I could achieve, see what other training, and so I got on to, because they live down in Devon, Joe and Gavin. So I got and called them, and they were like, "Oh, we're not really doing coaching, but we'd love to like help you out." And I was like, "Okay, let's just trial this." So they sent me some planned sessions, and that I cleared up with James, and it went well. And yeah, then ever since, we call 3-4 times a week. They're incredible. It's not just about the running side, but it's like the mental side as well. They've helped me so much, supportive in that,
Yeah.
which is the big thing for me, because
Hmm.
it's so easy for me to say, "Oh, they can just help me with the running," but if they can't help me with anything else, like, why are they your coaches? So
Yeah,
they've done more for me outside of running than they have running, which is the most important thing for me.
yeah.
So I think that's I've loved my decision. I'm happy with them.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially in this modern day kind of running, having
Yeah.
a coach that is more than just like a stopwatch, if you like, is so important. It's so easy to read a book and just say do these sessions. It's about being like a friend, but also like a guardian as well, like that sort of thing. But I quite often hang out with my coach, just go around and watch the football with him,
Oh,
like that
that's
sort
quite
of
cool.
thing.
I like that.
Yeah. He is a Man United fan, but we'll forget about that. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, so obviously while you were at uni, you were based at Cardiff Met Uni. So whereabouts are you based now?
So I'm still living in Cardiff.
Yeah.
I live with Kieran. So we have a house together, and yeah, it's just going great in Cardiff.
Yeah, for cool. So obviously you've been out to Ethiopia. Uh,
Uganda.
Uganda, that's it. Sorry, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad. That's my bad research skills. But yeah, so out to Uganda. When was the last time you were out there?
So I came back in March.
Okay. Was that
Um,
when you had the stomach
yeah,
problem?
so I really screwed my body over. Yeah, my absolutely screwed my body over. I got blood tests after, and it just showed like my whole body was just in the bin pretty much. I remember I did this session in it because I was supposed to race a half marathon. So like go to Uganda, come back, train for 10, 12 days, and then see if I can race. And I did this session, and I was supposed to do 15 by a K at like half goal pace. I did the first 400 meters at the pace. And I'm like, I'm fatigued. I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, I cannot do anything. So, um, but the experience was great, and it's quite funny. So, like at Cardiff Cross, the guy who came third in the senior men's race, or the guy who came fourth at Cardiff half,
Yeah.
they were both my training partners in Uganda, and they come up to me after the race or before the race now. Oh, hi, when are you coming back to Uganda? When are you coming back to Uganda? I was like, okay, I need to, if I come out to Uganda, I need to properly change some stuff before I come out. So, but hopefully I'll go back soon.
That would take some ultimate meal prep, take
Yeah,
like 4 weeks of like food just
yes,
all prepared.
100%.
So what's the diet like when you're out there?
So, so when I was out there, it was, I lived in like, I didn't have my own place. So we had to stay, there's this thing called Home of Friends. So all the athletes stay in this like tiny little place is crazy. Like Cheptegei, what he's won, he has his own house at the top, like of the mountain, they say. But then during the week, gets away from the kids, and he literally lives no Wi-Fi, no shower, no proper cooking or anything. Just this tiny, like 1 by 1 meter room, metal room. So I stayed in like this like little campsite, but they had like these little rooms. So I had to eat in the restaurant every day. But my girlfriend came for 2 weeks as well, and we both had the red meat there, so the mince.
Yeah.
But when you go somewhere else, they could cook the mince for 5 minutes less than us, 10 minutes less than us because they're used to it.
Yeah.
Whereas both times I had it, I was like ill the next day. I had stomach problems, so I was like, okay, I can't do that. I can't have like the red meat here. And then you forget about, because you're training hard, you forget if you don't have that red meat, you lose iron. And because I was losing a lot of weight, so I was just having like towards the end, I was just having like chicken or veg, but like not that much because when you stay at the same place and you have the exact same food, you really get sick of it.
Yeah.
So it's like something I've spoken to the coach out there. Like if I did go back, I would have my own place, cook my own food. So I know, like, firstly, know how long I'm cooking it for. Secondly, know how much I'm gonna have
Yeah.
and what my body needs. So it was like I said, it was a great experience. It was very tough towards the end. Like my girlfriend got sick after the food after 2 weeks, and she was only there for like half the time. So I
Yeah.
need to get back.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, it's a really tricky one, isn't it? Because obviously you're going to like it's a weird thing to say, but you're going to someone else's country to train with a different training group, and you don't want to be this kind of this
No.
posh white boy or
Exactly.
whatever. You want to be able to kind of fit in with what they're doing. But yeah, no, that sounds really tricky. But I've always heard that sort of that thing about the top kind of African athletes, especially the richer ones, that they actually still live in like a tiny shack. Like I've heard that about Kipchoge. So I never quite bought it, but it's interesting that you
Honestly, during the week, just in this tiny little place, it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
yeah, for sure. So what are the facilities like out there in terms of like showering and like toilets, things that we take for granted?
Showering, you just literally get a pipe, a hose, put it, fill up a water bottle, and you just like sponge yourself. The toilets didn't have toilets; it was just a hole in the ground. In the this was in the campsite, like where the guy stayed. Whereas I had my own room, like a little toilet, but it was like only a shower head, like a washroom.
Yeah.
So all the facilities were, and the best thing was, whenever it rains, the whole electricity throughout the whole town would just go off whenever it rained. So it was nuts.
That's crazy. So what was your like? Did you find your mental health was in a good place while you were out there?
It was it was good because I was like calling people and everything, but then like the worst thing was because we were training so early. Say we trained at 6:30 till 7:30, from 7:30 till like 5, because there weren't any like internet other Brits there. Like I was having to like almost just wait for people to go online, and because we were 3-4 hours ahead, like you're waiting for a long time. So it's like constantly napping, and then like the first 2-3 weeks you like see the scenery, and then after a while you're like, oh, like I need to focus really on the training and that. So it took a bit of a strike towards the end.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, my mum's mental health with me going away for that amount of time, she'd be distraught. But yeah, so obviously you've got the injury at the moment, but how do you foresee the rest of winter going for you? Do you think you're going to be back early next year to maybe do some road racing? What do you
That,
think?
that- that's the aim. So it's like a lot. It's quite nice to see because a lot of track guys, a lot of I'm almost coming into this new season essentially like the track guys. So like um and it's quite cool to see. So it's like I've had my break. I took a week completely off when I did my footing, and it's like I need that break, just relaxed. And now because I'm doing gym stuff, because it's all low impact stuff, I'm just trying to build fitness, and I think I'm getting fitter. My coaching, I'm getting fitter more than ever. But it's just a case of when I can start like properly running again, having a couple of days off, like just let the mind and body rest from all this work I've done, and then getting back into it. But the main game is for next year. Hopefully, go on a altitude training camp and then see where that goes.
Yeah, for sure. This might be a weird question to ask, but are you like slightly worried at all that you might not be quite where you were before the injury, or do you have full faith in what you're doing at the moment?
I really do have full faith because you may have seen like last year I had really bad inflammation in my Achilles, and I was almost out like on and off for 3 months because we didn't really know what it was, Achilles injury, like um and I honestly that whole winter I was just literally cross training, and then I think it was like around that marathon, well, pace the marathon, around the marathon off, just cross training, like 4 weeks of running. I did my 10-mile best ever session, which was stupid before the 10K where I DNF. I ran my 5K PB all that summer just after 3 months of cross training. So, yeah, get the heart rate up, and yeah, I'll just work, get stronger, bigger, build a big base, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. No, well, all the best. I really hope you obviously smash it next year. So I want to ask your opinion on some potentially controversial things in running, but in terms of like, what's your opinion on using carbon plated shoes for training?
So I think I use them for sessions.
Yeah,
Um, on a if I say for example 2 sessions a week, Tuesday, Friday. I used to use them a lot more for progression studies, and I think it was like big thing about like, oh, you want to look good on Strava or whatever, it'll be easier, hurry lower. But I was speaking to my coach, and they say like, um, the big thing about running is you need to build that calf strength. And if you're constantly wearing these net percent 4% on the road, when you go into race day, you're not going to feel the benefit. You're just gonna be feel a bit flat. So that's why now when I do progression studies, long runs, even when I'm getting a bit quicker, I'm doing them in Vomeros and pegs. And you can see such a big benefit when you step onto like a race. I do find it quite important to wear during sessions though, because sessions are quite tough and you don't want to kill your legs or anything. Like when I was speaking to Joe Pavey, when she was doing all her sessions in not like non-dragonflies, just normal racing shoes, she couldn't feel like she could get injured a lot more because her calves were torn up from the track. So in that on that sense, it's good to wear them for sessions. But in terms of other stuff, I'm just trying to build my strength up. So I think every other run now I do Vomeros and pegs.
yeah, for sure. That sounds sensible. I think that probably coincides with what I see. But what sort? So take me through your kind of your rotation in terms of what shoes you use. Obviously, they're Nike shoes. You're sponsored by Nike, obviously. So which shoes do you use for like which types of run sessions, etc.?
I really like the Vomeros. So the Vomeros and pegs are like depending on like almost how I feel like what pace the long run's going to be, what the easy runs. Like the easy runs, it doesn't really matter between those two. Long runs, I really like the Vomeros for some reason for the long runs. I just feel like they have a bit more backing in the back. And then on the track, I was going through Dragonflies and Next Sense.
Got it. Yeah, I think yeah. I think a lot of people understand, and I think people understand the Nike range probably the best out of all the ranges. Like their names aren't too complicated. They're enough complicatedness that they sound cool, but not they're not like a full sentence of
I
a name.
know, I know.
No, for sure. So obviously you've got lots of strengths when it comes to running. You're obviously determined. You've got the energy, and you're obviously an overall really likable guy. But when it comes to your training and your elite lifestyle, what would you say is your biggest weakness?
Um, big sweetness. Well, right now, because I'm injured and like I still do it. Like you may have seen people, I've now gone like putting stuff back on Strava. Like there's quite a few in the last 2 weeks, a few like hungover set days. So it's like trying to enjoy it, like going out with friends and stuff. So because Kieran's back in Cardiff Uni, so like going out with mates. So it just really helps, really, really mentally. It just helps. Like that's another thing I found in Uganda. Like I just wanted almost a night out just to let my hair down. Um, the biggest weakness, I think, I don't really know. It's maybe it's stretching. I need to get back on stretching, but I think because with my foot, because I was in a boot, it was like I couldn't really do too much.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but I think I'm getting there. So I'm learning new things and trying to. It's quite like honestly, the injury has actually really helped me mentally. Like I haven't been as happy or anything, and I'm just just trying to work on every weakness I can.
Yeah, for sure. So this next question is this is actually my dad who gave me this question. So I was asking my dad, oh, what sort of questions could I ask Jake Smith? So his question was, like, what's your opinion on when becoming an elite athlete, the difference between like nature and nurture? So whether you think it's all kind of like your genetic predisposition to becoming a good athlete, or whether you think it's more kind of the hard work and the training that you do to your body.
So if I said that to my parents, they would say it's because of them, but they weren't very good. They weren't amazing. Maybe my dad ran like an 18 or 17 and a half 5K.
Yeah,
And my mum maybe her PB was like 21, 22. And when you ask some of these athletes, you do look at some like Roy Leonard's dad. Well, Roy Leonard works hard, like you've seen. He's working so hard in America and he's deserved everything. His dad was amazing. Jake Whiteman, his dad. Um, I think for me, when people look into me, like before university, I had run 70 minutes for the half, 15:30 for 5K. I didn't have any structure. I think the big thing is structure and consistency. And if you had said to me, like I remember my first session coming to Cardiff Met, people took the piss out of me because I was wearing rugby shorts, like not even a tank top. And I did my first cross session with Yain Thomas, Jake Hayward, who have all run 3:36 back then, and steeplechase, gone to commies, and it was there just me, just showing up, being like, okay, let's see what I can do. And I hang on for as long as I could. And I think that's when it's like the determination. And I love like hurting in sessions, but each year I've just tried to build. And even when I'm injured, like I'm still doing everything, following the same structure, same guidelines. And I think the big thing is about consistency. And when youngsters ask me, because you see a lot of youngsters who say they want to be good at English schools and everything. My best place at cross country was 50th for English schools. I was 30 seconds off the 3K standards on the track. And I literally say when they're like 15, 16, I was like, don't be good when you're runner and when you're young.
yeah,
Just play foot. Like that's when I grew up in Hong Kong, I was playing football, rugby, hockey. I literally say, I don't care what you're running when you're young. Just what you can do in the future is the more important part because you
yeah,
see
yeah,
so many people drop out from it. Um, so I think it's for me, I just follow the structure and just year on year off. I didn't care about anyone else. I just cared about me. If I was improving myself, I would be happier. Like if I was still 2 minutes behind someone in my age, I was like, okay, let's see if I can improve to when I'm 28, 20, 29, 30. So it's just been a bit of hard work, getting, especially in first year, going out like a lot, just getting up and getting those hungover sessions, the same as now. And yeah, I'm loving it and just put in my head, I have to get it done. I want to be the best I can be.
yeah, for sure. So this is a tricky question to quantify because when do you define it as proper training? But when would you say in your career you started to like properly take the training seriously?
Probably year two of university. So year one, I started taking it more seriously. It's first time I broke 15 minutes, 5K. But it was like, when you live in first year at halls, it's like you have like that side. Like if you want to go out, you're out more. And then in second year, I moved into a house with Kieran Lewis, Piers Copeland, James Hennigan, Jordan Wood.
Yeah.
So that's when we like sort of took them more seriously, because we ran with each other the whole time. Like we had someone to run with the whole time. And then the year after, John Howarth came in, so we had a really, really good house. So his second year, I really started taking it seriously, and I saw the times come down.
Yeah, very, very cool. But so obviously you started your YouTube this year as well.
Yeah, I haven't done it for a while, so I need to see if I can get back onto it.
So it is something that you're planning on doing at some point.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might come back. I'll need to get some more footage though.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, I was watching the other day was your 10,000 calorie challenge.
It's yeah,
Is that,
killed me. That absolutely killed me.
yeah, for sure. Is that something you plan on doing again, or is that you've done it?
Oh,
Ticked off the bucket list?
I screwed it up because I went for Subway. Like Subway, you think there's gonna be a lot of calories. It's bugger all for like a massive like
Foot long.
sandwich, and you get there and you have it, and you're like, oh no, I've had all this bread, I can't do it. But yeah, I think this is like it's the time now because I'm injured and I'm training a lot. Like time just to enjoy it. Like I want to go to Coco Gelato soon. You know the waffle place. So it's a big place in Cardiff. Go to like Tiny's Buffets. That's what I'm gonna do. Like just enjoy the things, because then when I start running, it's a lot easier. Like if you have a bad stomach in the gym, you can run to the toilet. Yes, you can do it when you're running, but in a city centre like Cardiff, you're a bit screwed. So just enjoy the food now, and then when I go back into running, I'll take it like before long when I can't have so much bloody ice cream, because I'll probably need to go to the bathroom constantly. So just trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's yeah. I definitely struggle with the eating healthy side of things for sure. But no, it's been really good to chat to you. So what I'd like to do now, if okay with you, is move on to some trivia questions. So on this podcast, what I've been doing is I've been asking people 5 trivia questions. Some are about themselves and some are about running in general. So far on the podcast, I've had 2 guys and they've both scored 4 out of 5. So you've got some pretty decent competition here. So some of these questions, obviously the difficulty isn't easy to kind of compare. So I've done my best to try and keep it as even as possible. But anyway, are you ready?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Okay. So the first question is, so this is about you, is where do you rank in the UK all-time half marathon records?
3rd.
Correct. Yeah.
Just by 1 second though, honestly. Yeah. I was dreading it.
So I wrote these questions last week before Valencia, and then last night I was like, crap, Jack Rowe ran 60:32. Is that quicker than Jake's record? No, just a second behind. But no, yeah, very well done. So that's 1 out of 1. Okay, second question. This is actually a really horrible question. I don't even know if I should have asked this, but to the nearest 1,000, how many Strava followers do you have?
1,000.
Yeah, to the nearest 1,000.
14,352. I'm going for.
Yeah, see, I've made it too easy, haven't I? Yeah. 14,324. Yeah, so
close.
Very, very close. But that shows your knowledge of your fans.
Followers. I'll do it for the followers.
There you go. So you have got one question I think is actually really difficult, but you're gonna have to wait for that. It's the 4th question. So the 3rd question I've got is obviously Kipchoge broke the 2-hour marathon barrier. I think it was 2020. I can't quite remember, but in which European city did he break the 2-hour barrier?
I should really know this. It's literally in my book across the room. Ugh.
He's your teammate as well. I can't believe you don't know.
I know. I've had a mind blank. People are going to judge me so much for this. I'm bloody Vienna.
Yeah, Vienna's correct. Yeah. Fair play. Very well done. That's 3 for 3. Okay, I don't know whether to leave the harder question for last, because that might be the one you mess up.
Okay, yeah, go on. Leave that one for last.
Okay. The 4th question then is this is running related, not necessarily long distance running related, but how many Olympic medals did Usain Bolt win before retiring? Olympic medals.
Yeah, because I'm trying to 9.
It's 8.
8. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't quite get the triple treble. He got pulled up with his hammy in the relay. I don't know if you remember.
Did he win a bronze or a silver in one of the Olympics?
Yeah, I think one of them was a silver. Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he only got seven golds, was it? And then the silver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, right. The final question. This is the tricky one. And honestly, fair play if you get this because it's a ridiculous question. And I'm going to give you like a +2, -2, like gauge. Okay, so the Boston Marathon was the first official marathon event to allow women to enter. But what year was it? So the first ever official marathon that women could enter.
72.
No way. Fair play. You got it right.
See, I know my history.
Fair, mate, you know what? Fair play to you.
I think because it was it came up quite recently for some reason, so I think I saw it. I just yeah.
That is a fantastic answer. Fair play. So yeah, everyone's got 4 out of 5. It's ridiculous. This is
But I used to got one.
nah. It's
He might come back. You never know if he comes back and wins another one.
there you go. He might do, and then I'll have to change it. No, but fair play. So thank you very much for your time, Jake. I really enjoyed this conversation with you, and I wish you all the best in your recovery.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem. Take care.